I added Tabasco to Wendy's chili and used it to get second place in a chili cook-off. Title basically says it all. This wasn't a professional organized competition. There was some BMX event with a couple hundred people and they always have a chili cook-off. I'm not much for cooking, so I thought it would be funny to throw a bunch of Wendy's chili in a crock pot and see if anyone noticed. They didn't. I've been a vegetarian for roughly 12 years, so this was a long time ago. Cop pulled me over and I called 911 and lied to get out of going to jail. When I was 19 I was running late to work in my tiny POS economy car, and on fumes of gas I didn't come to a complete stop on a right turn. Lights behind me, so I pull over. I know I've barely got any gas at all and was almost to a gas station, hence why I rolled through the stop a little, trying not to have the car die. At the time, around 1995, a new digital phone had come out called Voice Team, notably, and their whole big thing was the phones were digital and not cellular. They were the first phones with caller ID, and one of the big things the salesman had said over and over was since it was digital the signal couldn't be triangulated or traced. Not that I cared, but it stuck in my mind. Well, as I give the cop my license, registration and insurance card, I got an idea. I knew if I was late to work I was going to lose my job. They were super strict there. So I get an idea, and right after I hand the papers to the cop and he's walking back to his cruiser, I called 911 and tell the operator I just saw a guy with what looked like a shotgun walk into a 7-Eleven that was about 2 blocks away. I confirmed the address, then I hung up. About 30 seconds later the cops comes sprinting to my car and hands me all my stuff and rushed says, "Come to a complete stop next time." Then peels off to the direction of the store. Pushed my car to the gas station that I'd almost made it to and felt pretty pleased with my ingenuity. I was an idiot, and I confess. I've stolen hundreds of dollars worth of water just by saying 5 words. My college has a food court in one of the main buildings. Chick-fil-A, sandwich place, salad bar, etc. You get your food and pay at the exit. Every single time I've eaten lunch there since I was a freshman, I grab a bottle of water with my meal, walk up to pay, and say, "I brought the water in." The employees aren't paid enough to care, and I pay enough intuition to not feel bad about it. I run a fake restaurant on a delivery app. I registered a company, bought all the takeaway boxes from Amazon, signed up for a few delivery apps, made a few social media accounts and printed leaflets that I drop in mailboxes. I resell microwave meals. On some meals I add something to make them look better, like cheese. So far it's at around £200 a day in revenue. Nobody suspects a thing. Soon someone will come for hygiene inspection, but I'll pass that check without any problems. It's not illegal to operate out of your own kitchen. Should I feel bad? I feel kind of proud, to be fair, and free as a bird from the 9-to-5 life. Edit, please stop commenting on the legality of this. I'm doing everything by the law. I'm in the UK, so yes, I can work out of a non-commercial kitchen. Yes, I am registered and will pay taxes in Jan. Yes, I have my certificates, and yes, I have insurance, though there is something I might need to add to the policy, doing that next week. This shouldn't be your concern. I'm legal. This is a confession, not legal advice. Not breaking any laws, just ruining my calm world for selling people heated up food from a microwave at home. I stole over $20,000 in a very creative way in the 90s. I worked at a fast food chain in the 90s when I was in high school. When I worked there, they were in the process of phasing out denominational gift certificates. $5, $10 and $25. The way it worked was if you spent more than half of the certificate, they gave you the cash back. So if you ordered $5.50 worth of food and gave them one of the $10 gift cards, they gave you the $4.50 back in cash. My manager was in charge of destroying all the existing certificates as we transitioned to the more traditional credit card looking gift cards. So my manager said he shredded the certificates like he was supposed to, but one night when I was closing I found 2 boxes of the gift cards tucked deep in the dry storage room. They were filled with the certificates that were supposed to be shredded. So, I scooped them up, brought them out to the dumpster in trash bags and threw them away. After we closed, I came back and recovered the back, and brought the certificates home. I counted them. There were $1,025, $1,010, and $505 certificates. None of them had expiration dates. Total haul was $40,000 in fast food certificates. My manager never said a word, he couldn't. He had reported them destroyed weeks earlier. Over the next 3 years my girlfriend and I toured every location in our state, and the next 4 states ordering food, and getting the change. We never kept track on a spreadsheet or anything, but we got good at knowing what menu items were just about half. After the first year, we started saving the change in a shoebox, and let it build up. I bought my first car for $7,800 cash from the change. And for some reason a kiddie cone was $1.05. If you gave them a $5 cert they gave you $3.95 back. We threw away a lot of kiddie cones. I've been on the run for 7.5 years. I stopped reporting to my parole officer in 2011. I recently had a beautiful baby. Tomorrow I'm turning myself in. Can't be a father if I'm a wanted man. I have 12 years hanging over my head. I've never experienced abject terror before today. I'll never be able to say that sentence again. I'm not even sure why I'm boasting. I have a great support network, but I'm still terrified. Of the consequences. Of losing everything. Of missing the beginning of my child's life. I don't fear prison. Prison is actually the easiest part of all this. When I went to prison the first time, I just didn't care. Now I have everything to lose. I'm stepping off a cliff with no idea where I'll land. Once a year I book a lodge out in the middle of nowhere and take LSD despite having schizophrenia. Every year at the start of November I book a lodge in the middle of nowhere for a week. I am 32 years old and have schizophrenia and have done this for the past 6 years. I'm on treatment, medication and therapy, all year except the 3 days leading up to my adventure and for the week itself. I do this without anybody knowing because I know I'd get a lecture which I completely understand why. Usually my psychosis and break from reality is very negative and scary, that's why I comply with medication on the most part. But every time I've taken LSD I've had nothing but fantastic, intriguing and amazing experiences. I love taking it and stepping into a different reality, not the reality I live in or the reality I face when psychotic, a reality where everything is beautiful and bliss. The things I take back from these experiences has helped me so much. Obviously I understand the risks of taking LSD as a schizophrenic. On my trip I'm sure to bring high-dose antipsychotics and sedatives if I ever need to use them. But when I take the drug I find myself in a place like no other. Everything has meaning and beauty. Colors and wildlife are fascinating to look at. The adventures that happen are incredible. I really find my true self and are content with life. I'll never tell anybody I know about this because they wouldn't understand, and I'll never share the experience with anybody else because this is really a time to find me and experience paradise. I faked my resume and now I'm in the shit. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Since I started high school, my parents stopped checking in on my grades and their mentality was basically we don't care as long as you get into a good university, and they've carried on this mentality to when I got into college, and they didn't really check on my grades and gave me free rein as long as I majored in the subject they wanted and graduated on time with good grades. Well, basically what happened was that I failed my first year and had to switch my major. I didn't tell them and they didn't ask, so I thought as long as I got my shit together and not drop out I'll be fine. One day out of the blue last semester my dad asked me to write up a resume. I panicked and wrote up a resume that changed the GPA and major and made up some shit and thought I saved myself. Well, this winter break my dad dropped it on me and told me he knows people in a big company. He gave them my resume and everything and wanted me to intern there. So I am fucked. They'll probably figure it out and let my dad know, and I'll probably get disowned or something, and best case scenario they don't check and give me the job, and I have to live with the guilt that I got a job that I didn't deserve cause of nepotism. This shit is depressing as fuck, and I'm typically an easygoing guy, but this whole ordeal is giving me anxiety like nothing else. I feel like an ass for failing and lying to my family about it, and now I'm on the verge of being blown, and I thought maybe making a post here will make me feel better, but I honestly don't know. Edit. Wow, this has blown up. In all my years of Reddit, the post that gets blown up is a confession post with a throwaway account. Talk about a wake-up call. Anyways, I try to read all the comments I can. Some of you tell me to play it off and fake it till I make it, some of you tell me to come clean, some tell me to just disassociate from my family and do my own thing. It seems Reddit is just as conflicted as I am. I don't know what I'll do, but I just want to say thank you to all that took the time to read and comment. I appreciate all the comments, even the harsh and brutally honest ones.